Good morning, Year 2. Today will be our last day with the Littlest Viking, so the children are coming up with plans to build a Viking ship for Amber to get her back home again. Back at the house, Mrs. Belcher had been having a clear-out. The skip into which Joshua had fallen some days before now contained a whole lot of old furniture that had come down from the attic. A small, narrow wardrobe stood by the side. Katie looked at it critically and then quite deliberately pushed it over. "Katie!" said Joshua, shocked. "What are you doing?" "Making a boat," said Katie calmly. The children looked at the wardrobe lying on its back and Gary nodded. "If we take this door off, the wardrobe could be the bottom of a boat." "It would need a sail," said Amber uncertainly, "and an oar, but it might just be the very thing I need." "And how will we get it down to the beach?" asked Joshua, pulling at the large piece of furniture. "It's really heavy." At this, Amber stepped forward with a flick of her wrist. She lifted the heavy wardrobe with one hand while Ratatoss jumped around on top of it. "That's one problem sorted," said Katie. "Now, the sail. What about that for sale banner you found?" "The very thing," said Amber, shifting the wardrobe onto her other hand as easily as juggling an orange. "And my false leg will fit onto the back to make a fine steering board." I didn't know you had a false leg," began Joshua, but Katie interrupted. "She means the leg from the shop dummy we found on the beach the first day." "Oh!" Joshua was a little disappointed, but went to fetch it anyway. Amber had already set off marching to the beach, calling over shoulder. "And then I'll need a dragon for the bow to frighten my enemies and a gold coin to give to the gods in case I get into trouble." The others stopped and stared at her. Amber shrugged. "These are Viking basics for any journey." Gary got the door off the wardrobe and Amber carried the rest of it down to the waterline. From his shed out on the pitch and putt course, Mr. Patterson thought he saw a wardrobe float past on its own. He really did need to find more things to occupy his mind in the winter. Joshua found the plastic leg and Amber fixed it to one side of the wardrobe with the toe dipping in the water. By moving the top of the leg, she could actually steer her new boat. Then Gary fixed an old broom handle to the cupboard and attached the large for sale banner. "I'll need some rope to hold it," said Amber, getting quite excited. "My aunt makes the ropes at home. She cuts a single spiral strip out of an animal's hide from the shoulder to the tail. Any animal would do, a whale, a seal, or whatever. Although, of course, the strongest bond is made from all the secret and invisible things in the world: the noise of a cat, the breath of a fish, the roots of a mountain, sinews of a bear, and the spittle of a bird." Katie got some garden twine, and that seemed to do the trick. As a finishing touch, Gary cut a dragon's head out of an old washing-up bottle to fix on the front. Amber was very impressed. "I learnt it from Blue Peter," Gary explained. "He must be a great man," replied Amber. "Is there anything else you'll need?" asked Gary. "Just food." Katie got out a pencil to make a list. "What sort of food?" Amber thought for a moment. "An ox would be useful." Katie paused and wrote down, "Packet of ham." Then she added crisps and some peanut butter as a bit of a treat. At last everything was ready. Katie, Gary and Joshua stood quietly with Amber on the shore of Pegwell Bay. Everyone felt that they ought to say something, but no one was quite sure what that something should be. Gary stared down at his trainers and Joshua fidgeted with something in his pocket, though at least for once he wasn't thinking about going to the loo. Then Ratatoss climbed to the top of the mast in the wardrobe boat and pretended to look out to sea. It was Katie who broke the silence. "Will you be all right?" she asked, trying to sound casual, but not succeeding. "Of course," replied Amber. "I am a Viking. I am Amber, Hammer of the North." She hugged Katie and pressed something into her hand. Then the little Viking turned and pushed the great dragon ship out into the water. "Wait!" cried Joshua. "You forgot your gold coin to give to the gods." He reached into his pocket, pulled out a large plastic gold coin and tossed it into the boat. "I got it with 6 Coke bottle tops. That one's Batman. It's my favourite." But Joshua's words were lost as the sail flapped and caught the wind. For a moment, the little wardrobe ship with its plastic steering board and red for sale banner stood out clearly against the blue sea. Then it seemed as if the children had shut their eyes for a second. When they looked again, Amber had gone. Katie, Gary and Joshua stood for as long as they could on the beach at Pegwell Bay, until at last, from Faxi, the horse of the night began to ride through the sky. The fog of Niflheim started to sweep across the bay. "Are you sure she'll be all right?" asked Joshua, looking out to sea. "Of course, she's a Viking," replied Katie. "You don't think we just imagined her, do you?" wondered Gary. "I mean, no one but us ever saw her." "No," said Katie. "Look." She opened her hand, and there lay the small silver hammer of the great god Thor, which Amber had always worn around her neck. "She is Amber, Hammer of the North."